But what you're also saying with this coming of Marietta, is that not the second coming? Is that what you're saying, that it's Christ's return?
You could call it that, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it will be the physical birth of a physical being?
Correct.
Okay. Now,
and one of our websites, Lisa, is called IamYeshuaReturn.com, which Yeshua had us create. And in a sense, he would describe it as his return, and in a sense, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, it's not. It's an expression of his monad, if you will, that's being sent forth. It will have more particles in that soul than Yeshua brought forth. It'll be a very powerful individual, but it won't be public. It's not an individual that the world in general will know anything about.
Okay. The 10th of the 10th, 10, which we've had recently, was an important day as well. And
yeah.
You've talked about on one of your videos the regeneration and renewal frequencies or energies that came through on that day. Excuse me. These are energies that you're talking about. These 300 people or over 350 people have come forward in order to learn about, receive.
Yes.
Yes, and they'll be made public. They'll be going on to teach others.
In time that will unfold. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that has been part of Carolyn's and my experience, and we don't talk about it overly, is that we have had an extraordinarily difficult path with those beings of the dark that want to prevent all of this unfolding. On a level, the reason for the fall in Atlantis was because some of the priest class in particular had been, you could say, influenced by the beings of the dark. Now, I'm not sure that term means something to you, but there essentially has been beings who wish to control all of creation that have gradually grown in power, and that has gone on for a long, long, long time, much longer than this planet. And so there was a basis for them coming to the planet during the time of Atlantis. They were beginning to take control, and so that's why the fall was triggered, to break the control and to ensure that the skills and abilities and tools that were being made available to humanity could not be abused anymore in the way that they were being abused. And so that was what triggered the fall. And we hear talk of things like the New World Order and those who want to completely control humanity, and indeed those forces are very much at work on this planet, and they are, if you will, the representation of the activities of the dark as they unfold within humanity upon the planet. And so what's not recognised is that the timing of 2012 on Earth has been lined up with the ending of some other major cycles, including the cycle of the dark, which in fact is longer than an individual cycle of Brahma. Are you familiar with the notion of a cycle of Brahma, Lisa?
No.
If you look in the Hindu religion, you'll find it, and essentially it's talking about the in-breath and out-breath of God. You could look at the out-breath of this cycle of Brahma as being what our science sees as the Big Bang. And the end of 2012 and ascension on planet Earth, it's a fairly short time window, if you will, in terms of the totality of time, is in alignment with the beginning of the in-breath of the cycle of Brahma. And it's also timed to be the end of the cycle of the dark. So there are many cycles that are coming together. And so this ascension on Earth is a very important trigger for many other things happening within creation. And so our friends of the dark have worked extremely hard to prevent the rejuvenation process coming forth. And so, Carolyn can scarcely walk as a result of the damage that they have done to her body. She can struggle around on 2 canes and, has experienced extreme pain day after day after day as a result of their interference. So it's been the private journey that we have walked is extraordinary. And so I know the truth of what I'm speaking about because I see the evidence of what they do and I see the results of the things that we do to clear their interference. The pain just goes away in Carolyn's body as a result of that work.
Even for people who aren't yet in touch with 2012 or Ascension,
Yep.
can see that our current paradigm is breaking down.
For sure.
There are many people, and these are not spiritual people, but financial analysts and the very analytical people who are even saying that money as we know it may not exist in 2 years. And that is a terrifying thought for so many people because it's all we've known. But really, this paradigm that we're living by of commerce and credit and the current financial system is only about 100 years old, the way it is right now. But because it's all we've known, and we feel that we think it's always been that way, but it really hasn't. And one of the things that I'm finding is a big question for a lot of people is how do I live my life for the next 2 years? When especially people who are come from maybe corporate backgrounds or very goal-orientated people who they've always had their 2-year, 5-year and 10-year list of goals for themselves. Yep. And now their 2-year goal includes Ascension. Or, what does that look like? They don't know how to live or plan or be when that's got to be factored in.
Yes. And the issue at the moment is there's very little tangible evidence of what we're speaking of.
That's right.
So most people are going to say, show us the money, dare I say it. Where's your evidence? And I have to agree, at this moment the evidence is not as tangible as I would like it to be. I mean, we see the results coming forth from the healing work that we do as a result of the karmic clearing work. We see people recovering from, all sorts of illness and disease, because illness and disease really is a messaging from the physical body saying, you've got some past life karma to clear. That's what it's about. And so we see people recovering from cancer, from multiple sclerosis, getting off thyroid medication, getting over, chronic back pain. We've had individuals, worked with a woman 2 or 3 months ago who was literally bedridden, who hadn't had a shower for 7 months, and her condition was extraordinarily complex with a number of issues at work for her without going into the details. She's now living a relatively normal life. And it's very humbling to have those experiences off the back of the work that we do. But the real wake-up is going to be the emergence of rejuvenation, because when that comes forth, it will be truly undeniable. There is no scientific paradigm that explains rejuvenation, and the way I expect people to come across, if you will, as a result of this process, because there will be a perfection come forth in the physical body, and also, as I said, this internal change will have happened, which brings forth the first phase of the Adam-Cadman physical body. These people will be noticed. They will be noticed. And I assure you, when it comes forth, we have all the pieces in place to launch this publicly.
Do you have a time frame for this?
About a year ago.
Okay.
I'm being facetious. We've been working very hard on this for some time. We honestly thought it would be with us before now.